Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about the watches of Mr. Yosuke Sekiguchi. So Sekiguchi-san is doing a trunk show with us here in Hong Kong all week, and the watches are available for viewing and available for order. And I want to talk a little bit about what these watches are about, what Sekiguchi-san is about, because I think it's quite interesting. Like right now we're in this period where independents are really hot, Japanese independents are getting really, really hot, and Sekiguchi-san, despite being a Japanese person, has actually made a watch that probably couldn't be made in Japan. It's actually a very, very, very Swiss watch. Seiguchi-san has been living in Switzerland for 20 years now, and he's gotten to know so many other really wonderful and great Swiss craftsmen who have kind of lent their skills and helped him with his project. And you know, this has happened because he's built such a great relationship with these friends over the last 20 years. So he's conceived a watch that is based on the Jules Jurgensen pocket watches of the 1800s, which were really beautiful, refined, stylish pocket watches. They were characterized by these really amazing long, wide bridges that all ran in parallel. And you know, Sekiguchi-san, based in Locle, wanted to recreate that, but in a modern wristwatch form. So if you look at the movement, which Sekiguchi-san conceived, you can see it is really like a remake, a miniaturized remake of those old Jules Jurgensen movements. But actually, it's even more beautifully finished. You know, Sekiguchi-san does everything himself, so it's all beautifully hand finished. And he actually also updated these movements with modern shock protection. Those old Jurgensen movements, if you were ever to drop them, you would probably be in a lot of trouble. Whereas these do have Inca block shock protection throughout. They're just hidden underneath, under the bridges. And so this is a much more functional wristwatch than, you know, recasing an old pocket watch. He's worked really hard on the finishing. I mean, if you look at things like the click spring, like the way the regular has been done, even just like the teeth of the wheels, it's really amazing how far he's gone in terms of details. I mean, here's a little image of like the blank component parts, and you really get a sense of like how much he has done in order to get it to where it is right now. In terms of the case, so Sekiguchi-san's working with an incredible case maker to make these cases, and they just have incredible, beautiful geometry. You know, they have that lovely, very rounded mid case that you would expect if you were handling a pocket watch, but then he's matched them with these big arched lugs pitched downwards in a really nice way. So when it's on the body, the watch wears almost a little smaller than you would expect. Crown is a wonderful piece of work as well. Two-piece crown. So there's the lower part with the teeth, and then there's this lovely star-shaped part that sits on top, and it's just a wonderful little decoration. Concave bezel. You know, I like concave bezels because concave bezels I always find like they have these weird reflections, and then when you get to the dial, like it really helps give the dial a bit more contrast and focus the attention of the eye onto the dial. Now the dials are enamel dials, and Sekiguchi-san is kind of strict about his definition of enamel dial. So to him, like an enamel dial really should be all enamel, markings included. A lot of enamel dials will be enamel for the base of the dial, so like the majority of the color will be enamel, but the markings might be printed on separately, painted on separately, and they're not in enamel. For Sekiguchi-san, he wanted everything to be enamel. So here, like the base and the markings are all in enamel. And you know, after you put that second layer of enamel, or that additional layer of enamel for the markings, you obviously have to fire it again. And as a result, the whole surface just gets this lovely, like slightly textured look to it. The color's super vivid. It's one of those things you kind of have to see it in person to appreciate it. So the white dial Primevere is that full enamel dial style. The second one, the garnet dial, this one, is interesting in a different way. So for the red dial, which by the way has this kind of like cloudiness, and it's kind of this, goes between a deep red and a burgundy. So with this particular dial, you have the white gold dial, right? And then you have these markings that have been CNC'd as part of the base of the dial that come up quite high. and then you have layers of enamel that fill all the way almost to the top of the markings, but not quite. So what you're seeing here for the markings is actually a part of the dial. Like they've risen up over the enamel, and the enamel has been put in layer by layer until it's almost filled to the top of the markings. It's a really, really wonderful effect because it also means that the markings have this metallic sheen to them because obviously they are white gold. And it's something that when you see it in real life, you're like, wow, that's really, really beautiful technique. So Sekiguchi is working himself. He does everything by hand. He's obviously getting some help from his friends who are supplying him some of the components. But I just think like the whole project is really coherent, it's really complete, and I really like it as a watch. Like it sings to me and my particular tastes. It's a little bit on the large side, so I'm borderline. I think it'll fit a lot of people. I have pretty small wrists, so it's borderline for me, but it'll fit a lot of other people. It's 39.5 millimeters in terms of diameter. Because of the shape of the lugs I mentioned earlier, it does wrap around the wrist quite well and fit quite well. But I would advise you come and see it, try it on, and then make your judgment from then. Everything is made to order, so it takes about 12 to 18 months with a 50% deposit. And listen, we are taking appointments, so give us a ring, send us an email, and we'll book you in to come and meet him because he's here all week in Hong Kong, and he's a lovely guy. It's really worth spending some time with him. All right, that's it for now, and thanks for watching. God, I'm choking on my words there.